It's not fair that I get to go after Mark. Roger, also, I've never heard a woodlands kingfisher in the Southern Oceans before, so I'm not surprised it was so poor. And also, Roger, you mentioned earlier on that you're not very good at asking for money. I thought you were quite formidable. And I'd hate to be confronted by both you and Mark together. So guys, just stay away from Roger and Mark for the rest of the evening. Right, so as Roger said earlier on, we're now going to do a scintillating cruise through the annual financial statements. Mark had some lovely slides. Colleen had some lovely slides. I'm just going to give you rows and rows of numbers. So please, I know that after the light-mantled Sooty Albatross, the magnificent Rainbow and Sunset, and Peter Harrison's stunning talks, I know this is the next highlight of your cruise. But I really am sorry to disappoint you. I am going to keep it short. So on to the results. I'm very pleased to report that despite uncertain and tough economic times, the organisation has achieved a net operating income up for the 7th consecutive year. The net income from operations for the year ended 31 December 2016 amounts to 1.1 million compared to 491,000 for the year ended December 2016. You can see the numbers up there. They're very small. I'm not sure if you can really see them, but they are in the annual report. So the net operating income for the year effectively arises from the following. Donor funding, which has increased from 2.7 million to 3.7 million, and that's mainly due to an increase in Golden Bird patron contributions of 1.9 million in 2016 compared to 1.6 million in 2015. Investment income has increased from 849,000 to 1.2 million, and that's mainly due to active control of cash so that we can earn maximum interest. Membership income has increased from 276,000 Rand to 335,000 Rand. It's a slight decrease in ordinary membership, but has been offset by increases in corporate and conservation league memberships, and hopefully after today we'll be getting more conservation league members signing up. So the aforementioned increased income has covered and exceeded our increased administrative costs of 3.9 million in 2016 compared to 3.1 million in 2015. I've only got 3 pages and we're down with 1 already. So all the activities previously mentioned are ultimately aimed at supporting BirdLife South Africa's main objective, which, as Mark so eloquently described, is the conservation of our country's birds and their habitats. Most of our conservation programs and projects were sufficiently funded during the year. Total income for projects increased from 16.9 million in 2015 to 19.8 million for the year under review. These amounts were matched by similar amounts of expenditure in each year. So we do manage to cover all our conservation expenditure by conservation income. Mark mentioned the Wackerstroom Centre earlier on. It does continue to incur losses due to the absence of a suitable funder. So if there is anyone out there who'd like to fund the Wackerstroom Centre, speak to Mark or Roger. The net loss of the centre has, however, decreased from 197,000 in 2015 to 132,000 in 2016. And this is partly due to the increased use of the accommodation facilities provided by the centre. The increased impact of our organisation in the conservation sector is reflected in the 18% increase of our gross operational expenditure from 25.2 million in 2015 to 29.7 million in 2016. Gross operational income increased by nearly 20% from 25.7 million to 30.8 million. The fact that we were able to match and indeed exceed the increased costs is a reflection of the sound financial management and good corporate governance of the organization. This is all very pleasing and should give members a sense of great satisfaction in these tough economic times. In addition to the net income from operations, other activities and transactions took place which influenced the net income of the organization. These transactions included non-discretionary donations and grants received of 1.7 million, a surplus on sale of investments of 361,000, and fair value gains on investments of 600,000. These additional income items were offset by transfers made to the BirdLife National Trust of just on 2 million rand. The final net income of the organization for 2016 amounted to just over 1.6 million compared to 600,000 in 2015. So if we now move to the financial position, the financial position of your organization remains healthy. The ratio of current assets to current liabilities has improved further since the 2015 financial year. Current assets of 20.1 million, mainly comprising of cash and cash equivalents, are sufficient to cover current liabilities of 15.8 million, mainly comprising of funding received in advance. Accumulated funds in the balance sheet have grown slightly from 10 million rand in the prior year to 10.2 million rand in the current year. These funds consist mainly of retained income of 2.1 million rand, sustainability funds of 6.6 million rand, and the excess of market value of investments over initial cost of 1.2 million rand. The financial statements for the year ending 31 December 2016 have been audited by KPMG and approved by the board. I thank KPMG and particularly the lead partner, Mike Evans, who is sitting here in front, for their services during the year and during the year-end audit process. We all appreciate the cordial yet independent relationship that exists and for all the advice received from KPMG during the year. Thank you very much, Mike. I would at this time like to express our sincere gratitude toward all our donors who have ensured that the organization's expenses were once again covered by and large. BirdLife South Africa remains very grateful to all our donors, irrespective of the value of the donation. Our country is entering an uncertain future, and our birds and the environment in general will need your support now more than ever. And then a final word of thanks on behalf of the board to our chairperson Roger, to our CEO Mark, and to our finance and operations manager Fani for their excellent leadership and committed stewardship over financial matters that have enabled us to produce such a pleasing set of financial results for the year ended 31 December 2016. Thank you all. I now propose that the financial statements of BirdLife South Africa for the year ended 31 December 2016 be adopted by members. Before I ask for a show of hands, are there any questions? No questions? If they are at the back, I can't see them. By show of hands, all in favor? Thank you. Any against? The financial statements for 2016 are now adopted. The next item on the agenda is to approve the appointment of KPMG as external auditors and Mike Evans as the registered accountant who will be responsible for signing the set of financial statements. Are there any questions in that regard? No questions. By show of hands, could I ask for, see who's in favor? Any against? KPMG and Mark Evans in particular are reappointed for the year ended 2017. That's the end of my report. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your cruise.